In the vast skies where national pride meets tactical necessity, few creations have struck as much fear and fascination as the B-2 Spirit bomber. Even today, decades after its first unveiling, it remains one of the most elusive, expensive, and enigmatic aircraft ever produced by human hands. Despite newer technologies, more advanced drones, and hypersonic programs in development around the world, countries like Russia and China still consider the B-2 a threat that is not only real but almost impossible to neutralize. There is a simple, chilling reason you cannot defend against what you cannot detect. Born out of the Cold War's shadow, the B-2 is not just an aircraft. It is a ghost in the sky. Invisible to most radar systems, capable of traveling thousands of kilometers without detection, and equipped to carry both conventional and nuclear payloads, it symbolizes America's strategic dominance in the skies. While it may not be the most recent invention, the B-2's relevance hasn't faded. In fact, as tensions once again rise in Eastern Europe, the Pacific, and beyond, this flying wing design still plays a central role in the Pentagon's quiet chess match with global rivals. To understand why even modern-day powerhouses like Russia and China fear the B-2, one must first understand what it actually is. Unlike traditional fighter jets or bombers, the B-2 employs a flying wing design. There is no tail, no vertical stabilizers, and no protruding cockpit nose. The result: a smooth, alien-like profile that reduces radar signature exponentially. The aircraft's shape itself is a weapon. Every edge is curved, every angle deflected, and every surface coated in radar-absorbing materials. This isn't an aircraft designed to survive detection, it's designed to avoid it altogether. When the United States Air Force commissioned Northrop Grumman to develop the B-2 in the 1980s, the stakes could not have been higher. The Soviet Union had amassed vast missile arsenals and intricate air defense systems. Traditional bombers, no matter how fast or agile, couldn't reliably penetrate Soviet territory without suffering massive losses. Stealth was no longer a luxury, it was a necessity. The B-2 was the answer. And though the Cold War would end before it saw action against the USSR, the bomber's very existence reshaped global strategy. Its first public appearance in 1988 shocked the world. The silhouette was unlike anything ever seen. But what made it truly terrifying wasn't what could be seen, it was what couldn't. The B-2 could fly undetected into the heart of any adversary's territory and release devastating weapons before vanishing into the night sky. Its radar cross-section, the measure of how visible it is to radar, was equivalent to that of a small bird. For comparison, a standard jet like the F-15 has a radar cross-section the size of a car. This makes the B-2 not just stealthy, but practically invisible. This invisibility is the foundation of its power. While Russia's S-400 and China's HQ-9 anti-air systems boast the ability to lock onto a variety of aerial threats, none have demonstrated consistent success against a B-2 class stealth target. These air defense systems rely heavily on radar data. If you can't see the B-2, you can't lock on. If you can't lock on, you can't shoot. Even with infrared tracking, the B-2's advanced cooling systems and heat-dispersing design make detection nearly impossible unless it's directly overhead, which by then is too late. But stealth is only one side of the coin. The B-2 is also a long-range monster. With a range of over 11,000 kilometers without refueling and the ability to extend that further with mid-air refueling, it can reach targets deep within hostile territory, from the continental US to Beijing or Moscow without ever landing. It also carries a devastating payload, up to 80,500-pound JDA-MIS Joint Direct Attack Munitions or 16 B-61, B-83 nuclear bombs. This means that one B-2 alone has the capacity to deliver pinpoint strikes on multiple targets or eliminate entire cities, all without triggering alarms until it's far too late. Strategically, the B-2 represents a psychological weapon as much as a physical one. Its mere presence on an air base in Guam or Diego Garcia sends a signal to adversaries that no place is safe. It projects invulnerability. A single B-2 sortie is often enough to make rival nations reconsider aggression, not because they see it, but because they know it's there, somewhere, perhaps right above them. This uncertainty, the not knowing, is what makes it terrifying. And this, more than anything, explains why nations with vast anti-air capabilities still lose sleep over it. Russia, for example, has developed an array of counter-stealth technologies, including passive radar, over-the-horizon radar, and even electromagnetic anomaly detection systems, but the results remain inconsistent. The B-2's passive stealth, which relies on shape and material, not just electronic jamming, continues to evade most attempts at detection. Even with advanced satellites and surveillance, there is a delay in tracking that gives the B-2 a window of opportunity. That window, in strategic terms, is all it needs. China, on the other hand, has invested heavily in anti-excess Area-denial AD systems. These are meant to keep U.S. forces out of the South China Sea and surrounding regions. The logic is clear. Build a wall of missile systems and detection grids so tight that no American aircraft can break through. But the B-2 was designed specifically to overcome such barriers. Unlike large fighter squadrons that rely on escorts and support systems, a single B-2 can punch through without detection, deliver a crippling strike, and return without engaging in a dogfight. It doesn't play the same game, it rewrites the rules.
What's also striking is that despite its age, the first B-2 flew over 30 years ago. No country has built anything that can match it pound for pound. Russia's PAC-2 program and China's H-2O bomber are both under development and promise similar stealth capabilities, but neither has yet been tested in actual missions. The B-2, meanwhile, has flown over Kosovo, Iraq, Libya, and Afghanistan. It has proven itself time and again, not just as a concept, but as a real-world tool of strategic dominance. The cost of this dominance, however, is staggering. Each B-2 bomber is worth over $2 billion, making it the most expensive aircraft ever built. Maintenance is so complex that the aircraft requires climate-controlled hangars and specialized technicians just to preserve its stealth coating. Yet, despite this enormous price tag, the Pentagon believes it's worth every penny, because in modern warfare, the ability to strike without warning and without consequence is invaluable. Critics often question whether such an expensive piece of machinery is still necessary in the age of drones, satellites, and cyber warfare, but the B-2 is not obsolete. It's evolving. It has been upgraded with new communication systems, weapons integration, and radar-resistant materials. It's also been incorporated into the future vision of the U.S. Air Force's Global Strike Command. While the new B-21 Raider will eventually complement and possibly replace the B-2, the Spirit continues to fly, not as a relic, but as a living instrument of deterrence. In this way, the B-2 serves not just as a weapon, but as a signal, a message to both allies and enemies. The United States possesses tools that remain beyond reach. Its effectiveness lies not in how many bombs it carries, but in how little warning it gives. And in modern strategic terms, warning is everything. There is also the matter of myth. The B-2 has taken on a near-legendary status, not unlike the SR-71 Blackbird or the U-2 spy plane. Its shape, smooth, angular, triangular, has been the subject of conspiracy theories, UFO claims, and internet forums for years. People who see it in flight report hearing almost nothing, as if the aircraft itself bends sound. This mythical status only adds to its power. In warfare, perception is often just as critical as capability. Even as Russia expands its hypersonic missile program and China develops swarm drone technology, neither has developed a bomber that strikes the same balance of stealth, range, and payload as the B-2. Their focus remains on catching up, on detecting the invisible, while the B-2 continues to fly missions that, officially, are never acknowledged. To this day, there are rumors of B-2s being involved in deep reconnaissance missions over contested areas. While no official records exist, the fact that such speculation persists is testament to the aircraft's mystique. In a world of constant surveillance, the ability to move undetected is more powerful than ever.
It's not just about the bombs it carries, but about the fear it implants. It's important to note that warfare is not only about who fires first, but about who sees first, who moves first, and who knows more. In this invisible war of detection and evasion, the B-2 reigns supreme. It doesn't need to dogfight. It doesn't need to outpace. It simply needs to arrive, strike, and disappear. And in that simplicity lies its genius. As the geopolitical landscape shifts once again, from Taiwan to Ukraine to the Arctic Circle, the B-2's role as an invisible enforcer remains intact. It may not be flashy, it may not fire lasers, but it remains one of the few platforms that can change the course of history in a single mission. This is why even superpowers like Russia and China still fear it. The B-2 is not a piece of history, it is history in motion.